Hello, everyone! Blue Star Saber here once again with Lucky Chi to do another, let's see, wait, not one, but two chapter reviews of My Hero Academia. Hello, Lucky Chi.
Blue, I was in the middle of having some ramen. What the hell? I'm joking.
Well, let's see, thanks to you, Lucky Chi, I've had to delay, let's see, chapter 1318's review and merge it together with 1319. So,
If you ask me, I'm okay with this.
yeah, it's fine, man. It did leave me time to watch the England football matches, which sadly, it's not coming home.
Oh, should I play the? Should I play the music to the world's smallest violin?
It was coming home, Lucky Chi. It was coming home.
And this is why we dub him the cursed child, folks. And this is why
Hey, my curse does not affect football. In fact, let's see. I rarely watch football for the most part, but you gotta watch it when your country's team is doing well. You gotta go out and support your boys.
And that's where the problem might. I'm joking.
Okay, put this for the record for any Americans who do not know. I'm referring to European football, not American football.
Would be okay. Soccer, football, same meaning almost.
Yeah. Although let's see. Although what we name it makes a lot more sense in Europe. True. I'm just saying. I mean, it is. We are kicking the ball with our feet, with our foot. So yeah.
Well,
but anyway,
I'm not complaining. If you want to talk to diehard fans of sports, I'll let you deal with them.
Which, to be fair, you should stay away from diehard football fans, especially what happened with when England lost. Yeah. Oh boy, that's a whole lot of scandals there. But we're not here to talk about football. We're here to talk, unless there's like a football manga in the future, or soccer manga, I guess. I guess Azuma 11 is that or something, right?
So I know.
Is Azuma 11 a football anime of sorts?
I don't. It might be.
But who knows? But whatever the case is,
there was a soccer manga, but I forget what it was called. It was canceled, which was unfortunate. But
I don't know. I guess if we'd do that for one of your manga wars. But anyway, we're not here to talk about, let's see, football or soccer, whatever you want to call it. We're here to discuss My Hero Academia, chapters 318 and 319, which I have in my own sort of subheading titled A Dynamight Entrance and a Class Reunion.
Somebody play Imperial March in the background right now. No, I'm joking.
But that's not the actual titles of the chapters. But yeah, but let's see. But you could see probably, but once we get in discussing to them, and if you've already read them, you can probably see why I've put that subtitle. And in fact, I think Lucky Chi has already done an analysis video on the contents of it, but we'll get to that a bit later, I guess.
It was a little brief, but I tackled what I needed to talk about there.
Anyway, chapter 118, Reckless, as the chapter begins with, let's see, Endeavor trying to... Sorry, what?
I just said Endeavor.
Yeah, Endeavor. Informing Midoriya that they want to switch their their approach, since Midoriya is not going to last longer if he continues on with his current trend. And as he reveals to Midoriya that the official dispatch of foreign heroes to come out and assist the Japanese heroes will be decided soon, which means there's a lot less pressure for him to be, going out and doing all these operations and all that stuff. By reminding Midoriya that he's the key to all this, and they can't have him running himself recklessly to the ground and all that stuff. However, Midoriya still feels like he still be able to walk on his feet, so he's fine. Let's see, and he can't give the villains time to prepare as he ends the communication.
He has to just keep moving forward, guys. That's the gist of it.
Until all his enemies are destroyed. Sorry, Attack on Titan reference.
But
I
know. It's been more. Okay, yeah, it's been like almost 3 months, but
well, technically, I think it has been 3 months. Let's see, 3 months, but you're still not over it.
I mean, I've gotten better since since April. So,
by the way, apparently it's been 8 years since the female Titan arc. For those who do not know,
and we know what happened to her. Now,
well, granted, maybe the female Titan arc in the anime, but anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the chapter. As Midoriya is marching on, some of the other previous All for One users, I believe the 6th, the 4th, the 1st, and Nama Shimura, are telling Midoriya by calling him ninth that his wounds are far from healed and he should probably rest and not throw caution to the wind and all that stuff. As he continues to jump forward as if to ignore them as he leaves them into the dust. And back inside the one for all conscience things, the other users are meeting to discuss what's going on with Midoriya, with like Nama Shimura feeling like she's put too much of a heavy burden on him with her feelings.
It's not an avatar state, but it's kind of an avatar state, kind of. Ish. You know what I mean?
I guess you could say it's kind of like when Naruto interacts with the Nine Tails, or when Ichigo enters his subconscious world where Sangetsu is.
We just need Luffy to do that. Complete the Holy Trinity.
Who knows? Maybe we're the voice of all things or something. Let's see, but we're not here to discuss that. But I don't know. Those were the examples I was thinking of. Or I guess when Asta was taken inside to like making a deal with like his devil before like the latest arc. But yeah,
Probably, yeah.
From my understanding. But anyway, yeah. With the 5th user going like how saying that the kids just sees every cause as a worthy one. And the 4th user says, for better for worse, how the manifestation of their quirks has enabled Midoriya to act on his primary motivation. As Midoriya seeks to save everyone as a true, hero and all that stuff. However, the 2nd user is saying that Midoriya is choosing the right path in all this. With the 3rd user questioning if this is truly the correct course. With the 2nd user going on about how inaction is not an option, and given the circumstances, and this is the burden that all those who bear one for all. Though he does says that if there's anything that could bolster Midoriya now, it would be. If I would call bolster is to help, right, or support, right, or provide, something like that. Is that the right meaning for the word?
Which
from what I'm looking up on Google. I know it's not really a word I usually
bolster, right? Let me see.
Yeah. Bolster strength. I think that's improvement.
Okay, bolster, technically, there's 2 meanings. It's either support or strengthen, or it's like a long, thick pillow that is placed underneath the pillows for support. So it's more of just, support.
I was just wondering because I think there was in the initial translation, before the official translations came out, there was translations of them saying, let's see, though if we could help him in some way, so let's see, but I suppose it's it's more of him just asking what could bolster, but it seems like bolster is the correct term, as the 1st and 2nd user are listening into what he's saying. Anyway, we cut to the scene of Midoriya rescuing a bunch of civilians from a group of villains without asking them if they are hurt. But let's see, one of the citizens is scared of Midoriya since he's got multiple quirks and asking if he works for All for One, since let's see, everyone knows that the only one that can do multiple quirks are All for One and his Nomu. With Midoriya saying that no, that's not the case. But you still have people, the citizens quickly, let's see, even though they're saying they're glad that's not the case, they're still running away from him quickly. So they're just running away because, Midoriya looks freaking scary now, doesn't he?
Once you go down the dark path, there's no turn back.
Is that a Star Wars reference?
I think so. I forget what. I want to say that's Episode 3, but I could be wrong.
Maybe Return of the Jedi when Yoda's talking to Luke, unless Unless you're thinking of something else.
I don't know. It feels like a Palpatine line, but you could correct me on that.
I don't know, but anyway. Midoriya, as he continues to move, commenting on how everyone seems to have it rough, as he's trying to find out what All For One wants, as he's trying to figure out where he can find them so he can stop people like Shigaraki and the League of Villains, as we see an image of Shigaraki, Dabi, Tomura, and Spinner, I believe. Yeah, it's Spinner.
Mm-hmm.
As he keeps thinking of what... All For One said, now it's your turn. And also probably seem to think of an image of, like, All Might.
Yeah. I love that parallel right there. Like, I remember, and I wish I did an analysis on this, but I love how it kind of correlates back to, what was it, no, it wasn't 17. It was 16, right? I'm pretty sure it was 16. Yeah. So it wasn't even that long ago, and we're already getting that correlation on this panel right here, and I think it's great.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty good panel. Let's see, and we can continue to see Midoriya doing his hero work as he's battling this appears to be this giant sea monster, or this giant shark-like user that can control the ocean. And you see him traveling and eating snacks. Then you just see him thinking about his mother, Gran Torino, Aizawa, All Might, and Eri in these panels as he's fighting other villains.
So cute.
And he's thinking about how, making sure everyone lives in safety so that they can all smile and get together again, as Midoriya is walking in this rather menacing pose with, like, all his classmates behind him smiling and all that stuff.
Now, why does this panel seem familiar? All right, I'm going to stop there. I'm just going to stop there right now. Sorry, guys, I'm having way too much fun with this.
Are you making fun of Naruto or
both?
Okay, fair enough. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. But as we see Midoriya's walking, he's starting to stumble as he's tripped. As someone starts to comment about his reckless rampage, born of anxiety and impatience, and that he would take on the world alone to the point of exhaustion and ruin, as he says that he is indeed as All For One described him, as we're introduced to a villain who's saying that power in numbers. And as he's here to capture Midoriya, as he'll bring him security, as Midoriya reveals that this villain is called Dictator, an escapee from Tartarus, and appears to be another hired gun from All For One, as he hopes that this one will be the one to tell him where All For One is.
I was going to say maybe his villain name should have been Marionette since he's got those strings around, but,
Yeah, possibly, but we find out. But let's see. We'll get to why he's probably called the Dictator, given his quirk.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's see. Now Midoriya. Ready for a fight. The Dictator decides to send all the ignorant masters of civilians as they comment about how they cannot control their bodies, as they're moving in sort of really uncomfortable ways, or just carrying weapons and crying and screaming that they can't control it. As Midoriya thinks to himself how Dictator, is revealed that this villain called Dictator was caught 5 years ago by the now deceased hero Crust. It was doing what is now called the Bloodless Surrender case. And that his quirk is Despot, as he can control others and it can only be broken by a strong blow to his victims or by knocking him out.
So it's like it's similar to a marionette without the strings, technically.
I suppose it's also similar to Shinsho's quirk with like the whole brainwashing thing, though. It seems that he doesn't need to have people respond to them, as he can just control people and have them attack and all that stuff. So in other words, you could even argue that Dictator is probably what you expect Shinso to be if he ever became like a villain. Lucky Chi?
In this case, Orochimaru. I'm having way too much fun with these references, guys, but yeah.
Okay. I don't know how this connects to Orochimaru, maybe sorcery, but all right. But anyway, Let's see. Midoriya comments about how he's taking precautions by having like civilians shield him, so Midoriya cannot use any of his like all powerful attacks to take him out. Let's see. As many civilians are charging to Midoriya and grabbing him, as they apologize to him, saying that they can't control themselves unless they don't really want to hurt him. Well, Midoriya understands this. He's determined to free them all, but he just needs to figure out a strategy. However, suddenly, Bakugo, aka Dynamight, appears. Let's see, using his and attacks the dictator using the move called armor piercing shot by saying that. Let's see, he also says that punk. I'm not sure if he's referring to Midoriya or dictator there, but his armor piercing shot. Let's see, fires directly at Dictator, avoiding the civilians and hitting him, possibly, I believe, knocking him out. With Midoriya thinking to what the first user said, if there's anything that could boost Isuku Midoriya now, it would be, seeming to refer to like his classmates and all that stuff, or his friends, as Bakugo says, he's here, guys, and that's how the first chapter ends.
I'll say this: if we had done our discussion here, I would have said, "Hell no, get them out of here! It's way too soon to see them again." But
let's see.
I'll let Blue continue on with this.
You've got the contents of the chapter after, but you know the contents of the next chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. We'll get to that in a minute. But first of all, I gotta admit, I think I think I'm kind of glad that we finally know that, okay, after so many people asking, why aren't the foreign heroes coming? Why aren't the foreign heroes getting involved? Well, it seems that now they're finally getting involved, or at least the preparations to get them involved are underway.
I've got two theories behind this. Either this was actually the next part of the story, or editors came in and smacked Koei in the face saying, "Hey, Koei, they want to see the other class. Chop, chop. Let's get them."
Let's see. We'll get to that. We'll get to the class thing in a second, but but I'm talking about. But we'll probably get. Let's talk about the foreign heroes and that stuff. And let's see. So we might get. Let's see. Quite a few fair share foreign heroes. Maybe even some of the ones that are coming in that upcoming My Hero Academia movie. Who knows? But yeah. But I do like how Endeavor's starting to be a bit concerned with Midoriya here about, about his current condition, since, he's the key for them to stopping All for One and all that stuff. I even like how the majority of the One for All heroes are starting to get, and users are starting to get concerned with, like, Midoriya's drive and all that stuff. Though I do find it funny that of all the people that's been most supportive of Midoriya's actions, it was the one that was most reluctant to give him aid in the first place, the second user. Wouldn't you say, Lucky Chi?
Yeah.
It's like, you want us to help the kid that wants to save our enemy? and now he's saying, Midoriya's taking the correct course of action. But granted, it seems even the third user is like possibly questioning this course of action that Midoriya is taking. So yeah. Now, granted, I do wonder if that means we'll get the first users. The second user's quirk soon, which will be a bit interesting because we only just got which would be interesting because now we'll be getting like 3 quirk users in one arc that way, since we got the smoke user, we've got the smoke from the 6th user, and let's see. Oh, Lucky Chi will be right back, so I'm going to continue talking. And we got Rajen Kun. Forgotten this. I keep forgetting the name of that quirk. Let's see. Let me just. Let's see, Midoriya. Let me just find from the wiki. Oh, yeah, Isuku Midoriya. Let's see, what's the third user's quirk name again? Oh, yeah, Fajin. So if we get the second user's quirk, we'll get 3 quirks of Midoriya's in one arc. But heck, it shows At least we finally get to know all the quirks. However, I do like how the second user ends up talking about how if there's anything that could probably boost Midoriya and his strength now, or possibly help Midoriya, it seems to be his fellow classmates now. But anyway, I do like how, despite Midoriya's efforts to save everyone, due to the fact he has multiple quirks and his appearance, he's scaring citizens, and he's not really inspiring them the way All Might did when he came to save them. In fact, he's terrifying them still, which was sort of hinted at last chapter. So, yeah. So, yeah. Granted, I am a bit curious to see how much time has passed since we see him fighting multiple villains, such as this giant sea monster, sea giant shark thing, other group of villains, as he's like going through, I suppose you could say, a montage, thinking about all the people dear to him, which we get his mother. Well, we saw the people dear to him. Though I'm pretty certain Lucky She, once you get back, I'm pretty sure you're going to comment about how cute Eri Chan's smile is. All the menacing panels of him being drawn. As you're thinking about how he's trying to think about how everyone's to smile together again, even though that panel of Midoriya showing here is him not smiling. So yeah. But anyway, let's see. I do like that. Let's see. The next user we've got Nexus hired gun from All for One has sent after Midoriya. Is someone called the Dictator, who can control people and that stuff. So it's like a dark reflection of like Shinso, as I said earlier. Let's see and then we get a little bit of world building history, at least of like the fact that this guy was taken down by the now former deceased hero, number 6, Crust. I mean, it probably would have been nice if we got this sort of like information, or like this sort of like character stuff with Crust before his death. But heck, I guess it's nice to know. Let's see some of the heroic actions that Crust did that got him to earn the title of number 6. I mean, granted, Crust is not really a character most people know, but he was one of the, at least in terms of Hero Society, one of the most significant deaths, or the most noticeable deaths of like with the war arc that we had in the previous thing. But I like how Midoriya has exhausted himself too much at this point that has allowed him to be vulnerable from Dictator's like attacks, which he's cleverly using civilians to shield him and others to grab Midoriya as he is struggling to think of a strategy and all that stuff. And I just like the panels of like all these people trying to say, "We're sorry, it's not our fault. We're not trying to hurt you," and all that stuff. So yeah. Let's see. I do like these panels of Midoriya's eyes. He looks so dead inside from the way he's looking. It's like, or just how tired he is. Far different from the happy-go-lucky Midoriya that we used, the happy-go-lucky, the sort of optimistic fanboy idol in Midoriya that we knew from the beginning of the series. So there. And anyway, but the main, probably what's getting most people hyped is the final double page of Bakugo using one of his attacks to hit, Dictator, and commenting that to some people that he's found, he's found Midoriya, and I think that many people have probably theorized it's the members of Class 1A, which Lucky Chi, if he's here right now, would probably say how he's not exactly happy that this is the case. Though, granted, he did mention how. Let's see the contents of like the current chapter. Let's see, it probably helped him from probably voicing concerns and complaints when we probably would have reviewed this chapter solo. Overall, for me, I'd probably give this chapter. Let's see. So anyway, let's see. Before I probably give my chapter this fuse, I probably would say that before I get into discussion of like 319, my predictions were probably going to be about how. Let's see. Some or all of the members of Class A discussing their actions of like possibly talking about. Let's see, getting a flashback of possibly Midoriya. Discussing like. Maybe asking Bakugo what is one for all and all that stuff, and him asking him details on Midoriya and possibly planning on trying to find Midoriya. And going through and you're probably having some of the people interact. Coming to aid Midoriya. I assuming at least it would be Uraraka, Ida, and Shoto, since they're the ones that have mostly associated with Midoriya. All that stuff. So there, and they'll either try and get Midoriya to come back with them to the class. Though I think Midoriya would probably refuse. Though what happens afterwards, I wasn't quite sure. But given the contents of chapter 319, I am glad that it ends up being the way it is. Though granted, yeah. So that's kind of interesting. Who knows? I wonder perhaps maybe the students of Class 1A might have even interacted with All Might before then, but that was not the case. But yeah. Overall, I give this chapter a 8.5 out of 10. As I am, liking how you're getting both Endeavor and some of the previous users getting concerned with Midoriya's current mindset of, keep pursuing, defeating every enemy in sight and all that stuff. And all that stuff. And and him just trying to brush them off, saying that he's fine and all that stuff. However, I do like how it's like the second user that seems to be the one that most agrees with Midoriya's course of actions. Though he does mention that there is possibly a way that if there's anything that could probably help Midoriya right now, what's in his current mindset, it probably, as he predicted, it's probably his friends. Now, I'm not sure if he's happy with the idea or not, because he might wonder, because he might probably predict that his friends might try to stop Midoriya with his current set of course. And all that stuff. I like how we see Midoriya going through a montage and all that stuff, though I am questioning like how much time has passed from this montage. I'm just wondering, has it been a few months now? Has it been a few days, weeks? What is it? All that stuff. Blimey, Lakichi, you're really leaving me to keep dragging this out. Let's see, So yeah, I like how we end up getting this new villain. That's just there to build up the arrival of Bakugo, who we have not seen since, I believe, 306, or maybe before then, maybe like just before Midoriya meets the previous users. And I know he was shouting. For Midoriya to wake up. So yeah, Bakugo fans finally get him to return. And all that stuff. So yeah. Let's see. So Lucky Chi has not come back yet. So I think I'll get on to 319 a bit, which is titled Friend. And apparently for these chapters, for the next 3 weeks, apparently, from what the unofficial translation says, to celebrate My Hero Academia's, I believe, 7 years of publication, the next 3 chapters will each have a coloring page for the foreseeable 3 weeks to celebrate the 7th anniversary. As this first one has revealing what had happened between Midoriya's the first few days after Midoriya left UA. As Eden Uraraka are looking towards Shoto's Tokoyami. I think it's Tokoyami, and Bakugo asking them if they really if Uraraka asking them if they really think so. With Shota saying if that it's just a guess, but Bakugo believes that Midoriya has gone with Endeavor and the others. As it's revealed that they are talking, as all of Class 1A has gathered together talking about what's happening to Midoriya. With either asking that it's your best guess, but have you not confirmed it with any of the heroes and confirmed it with anyone? Or have they gone to ask their mentors who oversaw the 3 of them? Which Tokoyami reveals that they've tried, but their masters are not answering the phone. Hawks is not answering him. Bakugo's not getting an answer from Best Genist, who's probably his mentor now that he's back since Endeavor's now gone. And Shoto says his father's not contacting him. Why he comments that of course they probably are busy, but something feels off, and they can only assume that they're keeping the secrets from us. With Jiro mentioning how All Might is still missing from UA. With I believe Tailman saying that seems to be the case. And it's revealed that the classes are still currently suspended and are still being technically kept as first years, so they're not Class 2A yet. They are Class 1A still. And apparently that those of us those in the hero class are either cooped up in the dorms or helping out with local security for the time being, given the state of society. And it's tough to find out what's going on out there. So they don't know much news from the outside. As Bakugo ends up saying that how his mentor and Hawks end up in probably a rather rude manner describing them. Met with All Might there and was to discuss stuff with him and Midoriya. Want to discuss with Midoriya. And then a few days later, they get letters. With Bakugo commenting that since Midoriya is probably too scared to come near UA, he's probably asked All Might to sneak in the letters to explain to them. That they're leaving, saying that those two are like partners in crime. With hold on, let me just get up the wiki, Class 1A's wiki page so I can pronounce all the names because it's getting a bit hard. Oh, blimey, Lucky Chi, you're really taking your time. And with hold on, let me find what's the name of the student. Of course, number 1. Aoyama saying that since since the 2 are the adults, shouldn't they feel assured and all that stuff? And Denki or Kaminari saying, the only news they've been hearing about is how the top 3 have just formed a team by themselves and not a word about All Might. Which Bakugo then says that, yeah, of course, that's going to be the case. And while he knows Midoriya and All Might better than those 3, more than anyone, because he believes that this is the worst case scenario of what Midoriya is doing. With Kirishima. Kirishima asking, let's see, how can we get in touch with them? With Uraraka getting a serious face of thinking, ends up saying that since Endeavor was a UA Aluminium, let's just force the issue on them. As a few more days later pass, as we see Principal Nezu, let's see, the little cute animal principal that has a quirk. let's see, looking, blank stare. As Endeavor's saying, let's see, just looking around, saying, Principal, you set me up for a trap and all that stuff. As he's been confronted by all the remaining students of Class 1A, as they've just entered the office. As it seems like as Nezumu tricked him into coming, seems to discuss another matter. As Nezumu ends up saying how he had the children out and determined this meeting was warranted, since he's always open to the change based on facts. With Shelter finally saying what we all have been expecting him to say. Why his father's been ignoring him, since he thought that they were going to stop Toya together. Endeavor saying how Shelter's willingness alone means the world to him. But with him resorting back, saying it apparently doesn't mean much to me without action. And he's asking why only Midoriya's were getting the free pass here. With Shelter finally saying confronting Endeavor how he's letting Midoriya and All Might operate together with them. With Endeavor remaining silent, which is like all the proof that Bakugo needs that, yeah, this is the case. With Bakugo saying that while in any other situation, this is probably the right move, but he tells Endeavor how he doesn't know, the first thing about Midoriya, about how he's screwed up in the head, as he never takes himself to account, and just says stuff, I'm fine, to brush off and all that stuff. Saying how this is the same problem with All Might being the symbol of praise with the same mindset. Saying that he won't be able to stop Deku. Okay, I've just gotten a message that Lucky Chi will be 5 more minutes and then we'll be good. So we'll probably get his thoughts of the chapter after I've done this narration. Let's see. So he tells Endeavor to listen, as they can't leave these two alone with each other, not those two. As Endeavor thinks to, apparently, Hawks and Best Genius talking about how Midoriya has seemed to finally cut himself off of All Might. So it seems that Midoriya has cut them off from everyone. With them commenting, if only we could have the same speed to be by his side. With Endeavor, slowly thinking, about what's going on. Slowly, takes out his GPS tracking, but with Sarah commenting about that's apparently the GSP tracking with Sarah, Koji Koda and Pinky, Turo Haguriku, or Invisible Girl, and of course Mineta, all charge and snatch the GPS out of his hand, flying for the air. With him with Endeavor just remaining silent, saying, so asking, minding if we could borrow this from him, since even though they only rounded up by chance being in the same class as Midoriya, with Koda saying how even though they've only spent 1 year together, but they feel that's plenty. And then Shoto continue on saying how Midoriya never opened up about One for All to them, and let's see for them, and he was fine with that. He expected that. He's still a bit shocked how in Midoriya expected them to just expect a letter to put them at ease. It's either saying that them of Class A will and to follow him alongside him and help work together with him. no matter how great the burden one throw may be, Midoriya is their friend, and they can't expect him to go, and they can't expect to go smiling out into the future without knowing that their friend is walking down this dangerous path by himself. As you see, all the remaining students panning up Cirrus, showing how they went to stand by Midoriya's side, and Endeavor commenting about how dangerous it is out there with law and order being completely gone, and the kids would be in danger. With the principal saying how they've certainly matured with Todoroki. I'm not sure if he's referring to like Shoto Endeavor, though I assume it might be Endeavor, given how Endeavor had a very different mindset probably a few months back, but yeah. With the principal revealing that given how the villains were now pursuing him, and that Midoriya wished to leave UA, he authorized this team up. However, he says that Midoriya is free to return to us at any time, which surprises the members of Class 1A. Saying that from the replying that from the moment the student is accepted into the school, they fall under their prediction, as Uraraka ends up thinking of the time of when she got that acceptance video from the principal saying that join us. This will be your Hero Academia, as we see her and her mother crying the fact that she got accepted into the class, since this is such a big deal for them. Lucky should be back in a minute. But Endeavor's concerned about the safety of the evacuees, and among them still, since if Midoriya stays in one location, the villains will come after him. However, the principal says that a proper shelter evacuation, there must be more than a simple plot of land and all that stuff, and shall reserve them somehow. And that apparently their security system was fortified during the school festival, and yet it's yet to see any use. He's apparently talking about the UA barrier, and it will prove its worth, apparently. But in any case, he gives, All Might. In any case, All Might also, it says how All Might also attended the school as well. So he tells them to go on, do what they must do to bring back All Might and Midoriya back to them. And this is how the flashback ends, as all of Class 1A has arrived around the sea, arrived around the scene surrounding, confronting Midoriya. As he's sitting down there there's now all the, controlled victims are now free from the control. With and they appear to be surrounding the villain. Or at least they're set between Midoriya and the villain. I should probably comment that the scene of where Midoriya is where that statue of All Might is after his battle against All for One, with that sign saying "I am not here." With Mama Yazuru saying how the prisoner escape, he's been executed. Saying good work to Bakugo. However, Bakugo's mad, saying to call him great explosion murder god Dynamight. With Mama now going like, pardon me. Blimey, lucky she. I hope you're back soon. Let's see. I can stop talking more. Anyway. So she's a bit taken aback by Bakugo's rudeness. With everyone now with the villain now knocked out, everyone's free from his control, and they are running for their lives and thanking the heroes. With Midoriya looking on and then looking back to this class, saying, everyone asking why everyone's here. With Uraraka telling them that let's see, that they're worried about him. With Midoriya saying he's fine. He doesn't, telling them not to worry of him as he's putting on his mask and tells them to get away from him. With Bakugo saying, cut the crap and all that stuff. It's about being all, saying Midoriya's acting it's mocking, saying, all hail the mighty inheritor of one for all. But he asked Midoriya to tell him that, is he really smiling right now? With Midoriya remaining silent in this rather menacing look pose, and says, I see him saying those smiles and everyone's peace and mind. In order for those reasons to keep going forward, he needs to keep going forward. So he tells the class in a rather threatening manner as he's standing up, saying, getting into a sort of ready to fight position, telling them to get out of his way. With Bakugo saying, do your worst, you all might want to be, as he's fully expecting him to prepare the fight. And Ida commenting about how we knew Midoriya would be the same as ever, telling everyone to stand strong as Uraraka as they are behind Bakugo, preparing to fight Midoriya. As the chapter ends with Midoriya preparing to fight Class 1A with seemingly Bakugo, Ida, and Uraraka leading the assault. Just hold on a second, I'm just going to get a drink of water because I've been talking for quite a few minutes. And blimey, what a cliffhanger. As we're getting Class 1A versus Midoriya. A fight I didn't fully expect to happen, but I was kind of expecting to happen at some point, but not in the way I was imagining. But yeah, it seems this conflict has finally started to appear itself. So yeah. First of all, I like how as I think we all expected, we're getting a bit of a flash. This chapter was being a bit of a flashback, and I like how we get a bit of a coloring page, as it's a bit rare to get a coloring page of events going on for My Hero Academia, since normally we get a coloring page, it's a double spreaded page, or or it's one of those covering pages for a US style comic book. Front cover thing, but now it seems to be just a regular page of the story going on as we end up learning how just a few days after Midoriya, you have Class 1A discussing hold on a sec. Oh boy. As we we're seeing Class 1A discussing Midoriya's flying on trying to ask where Midoriya is, and how they're trying to confirm whether or not he's with the top 3 heroes or not, which we confirmed that they're students, Bakugo for Best Genius, Shelter for All Might, and Tokiyami for Hawks is saying how none of their mentors are replying to them. And the fact that, All Might is gone also confirms that he's probably with Midoriya. And we end up learning, and I like how we learn that, okay, so and I find it interesting that, yeah, Midoriya, that due to the current situation, Class 1A has yet to go to become Class 2A and all that stuff. and they're busy with security, helping with the security and all that stuff. Come back, Yakichi. On the second. Boy. Oh, I'm getting really tired. Let's see. Sorry. With Bakugo saying that, let's see, that it was, let's see, confirming that it was probably Endeavor that sent the notes to them, not Midoriya, since, you know, he's too afraid to come to, like, you know, the school right now, as he doesn't probably want to face everyone. Let's see, so yeah, though, and he's definitely with, like, you know, the top 3 heroes in the team. With, like, some of the students asking whether or not it should be okay with Midoriya since they're with, like, the top 3 heroes, or, like, let's see, how there's no news about it. However, Bakugo knows, has known Midoriya for the longest, and he knows Midoriya's own flaws and recklessness. And he even knows All Might's own problems and all that stuff with his recklessness, since those two have the same, weakness of, like, trying to handle the burdens alone and all that stuff. I'm just turning a fan on in the background there. Sorry if this makes any noise. I apologize for this. Come back, lucky sheep. Easy boy. Lucky Chi, are you back yet? Aye. So yeah, Bakugo is, like, knowing, like, due to the fact that Bakugo knows that Midoriya is in Tritsu, like, he cannot let this slide. I like how Uraraka is the one to come up with the idea of bringing Endeavor into this. So they trick Endeavor to come to UA by getting the principal to call him in. Let's see, with, like, the principal after hearing what they said, which we don't see. So that it's fine, and let's see, hearing what they said, they agreed to arrange this meeting, much to Endeavor's annoyance and all that stuff. I do like that Shoto has finally confronted Endeavor, like, how he's leaving him in the dark and all that stuff. So and saying that how it seems to be okay for him to be left out, but not Midoriya. And confirms that through and allows them to confirm that Midoriya is with them and all that stuff. Due to Endeavor's silence, he cannot get a response to the answer them and all that stuff. Let's see, and I do like to see how Endeavor's thinking, due to the fact that Midoriya has left him all behind. They cannot seem to reach him. He's not being able to say anything. He ends up just allowing the students of class 1A to snatch, like, his GP tracking on him and all that stuff. And then let's see, and I like how the students of class 1A, the minor ones particularly, like, even though they've only like known him for like 1 year, and it may have been like a chance. They still feel that's plenty to call him their friend and all that stuff. As Shoto and Ida say that while they're a bit, they could understand, like, Midoriya keeping this, while they might be fine with Midoriya keeping the secret of One for All, they cannot accept the fact that he's just left a letter for them to say that he's leaving all that stuff, and that they want to be by his side and helping him with his burdens, as this is like, as like he cannot do this alone and all that stuff and face this evil he's doing. And they're determined to walk the path on this, and it's revealed that even though, and it's revealed, and the principal says that even though he accepted Midoriya's decision given the circumstances, however, he tells the students that Midoriya is free to return to Class A, as it now shows that Midoriya has a chance, despite leaving the UA. He has a chance to return, since once they became students of UA and they were accepted in, they're under their protection and stuff, and this allows Uraraka to think back from. We actually get to see how happy she was. I like how how desperately she was in tears with her mother about getting accepted into UA. And all that stuff. Even though Endeavor has like his concerns and all that stuff, it seems like we end up, and I do like how we end up learning that. It seems like UA is very confident in this new security thing that they set up during the school sports festival. And apparently this will allow Midoriya to probably be secure inside the school, despite villains probably trying to attack him and all that stuff. But yeah, he gives like the students Class 1A his permission, as we end up seeing like Midoriya is a bit I do like how they quickly subdue the villain, Dictator. And I do like how Bakugo gets annoyed whenever people call him his actual name when he's doing hero work, and he's saying, like, particularly Momino saying that, calling him like his full title of Great Explosion Murder God Dynamight, with her. No, I do like how Momo is taken back by Bakugo's rudeness about it, and I do like that we can get a confirmation that all the citizens are like now free from Dictator's quirk. I do like how Midoriya is just puzzled about, even though he probably should know that. Why has everyone come for him? Which I do like how Uraraka's the one to, even though they're all soaked in the rain, saying how they are worried about him. However, given Midoriya's current mindset, feels like he's still fine and doesn't need anyone's help. So he just tells them to leave him be, as he's like got oh boy, lucky you said 5 minutes, but now it's been 30. Let's see. He's fine on that stuff. However, Bakugo is not taking any of like his nonsense, and is like making fun about the fact that he's got like, All Might's quirk and all that. He comment, and he even asks Midoriya, like, is he able to smile right now? Which we can clearly tell from his silence that he can't. And he goes like to say that. Midoriya says in order to reach those spirals, he must keep going forward with his reasoning, and tells his classmates to get out of his way. However, his classmates are not having it, as Midoriya is as they're not letting Midoriya going in his current condition, as they're all prepared to stop him, as I said earlier, Bakugo and Uraraka are leading the charge and all that stuff. As they are preparing to fight Midoriya, as this fight is finally happening. Let's see, Lucky Chi, are you back yet? Because it's gone like 30 minutes since you said you'd be back. Oh boy, sorry about this. I'm getting a bit tired. Of narrating. Just waiting for Lucky Chi to come up. I'm just gonna mute myself for a second.
All right, Blue. I'm back.
At 5 minutes, you said. It's been 30.
Sorry, Blue.
I literally had to narrate and summarize throughout the entire 319th chapter, and starting to give my thoughts of it, and I'm starting to get really tired about it. But yeah, so it took you 30 minutes. But anyway, now that you're here, I can take a break as you give me your thoughts on let's see your thoughts on 318 and 319.
Okay. 318, I'll say this, was a pretty good setup chapter. It had a lot of stuff in it that I liked. Like, okay, Deku, it's not a moral compass, but the dilemma Deku's in, I think, is really interesting. And the setup going into 319, I think, is well handled for the most part.
You mean like how you've got like the heroes getting stunned, and the quirky previous users getting concerned with Midoriya's current condition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also we're seeing more of Midoriya fighting other villains and his continuing exhaustion with this path.
Yeah.
Let's see, though, with the only one being most supportive being, like the second user. No, he does said that there's probably a way to boost Midoriya, help him or something like that.
Yeah.
And after probably like nearly, about over a volume's worth of chapters, we finally get to see the return of Bakugo, as he comments on the other members of Class 1A. And I believe earlier you said if it wasn't for like this current chapter that was out last week, you'd have a bit of concerns about the Class 1A returning, right? Could you elaborate onto this?
Well, like I said, personally, I like going from 318. I was just like, I feel like it was just a little too soon to bring them back in. Because I was like, because we had a whole volume's worth, and I thought, okay, let's go a little bit further, maybe 2 volumes in, and nothing, right? Mm-hmm. But then, come 318, and it's like, oh, okay, I guess we're there. So my only big concern was like, what exactly was going to happen? And given with where we go in 319, to put it short, I'm definitely interested.
Let's see. I gave this chapter a score of 8.5 out of 10. What is your grading? Because you have a grading system for this chapter, right?
For 319 or 318?
318.
318, I'd say, is around like a grade rating.
Okay.
And then as far as 319 goes, I would say that one's around.
Let's see. But we'll get to that one in a bit. But let's see. We'll get to your thoughts on that. Before then, I'm just wondering. When Bakugo says found them, were you expecting all of Class 1A to show up, or just a few of them?
Maybe just a few.
Fair enough. Anyway, what are your thoughts on 319 as particularly like the color spread? And apparently we're getting 2 more for the next 2 chapters, since apparently this is going to be because this is celebrating the 7th year anniversary of My Hero, apparently. And this is also the first one of the few rare color spreads of the beginning of a chapter that's not a double spread or a US comic inspired issue color spread.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the flashback and all that stuff?
The flashback was neat. I'll say that because it was something I kind of saw coming, because I knew Class 1A would be a little bit concerned about, like, all right, what's Deku up to? You know, he just seemingly walked away. He's with All Might. And I love how, given with Ochiko, I love how she's kind of not exactly taking center stage, but how she's like, no, we got to force the issue to get an idea of, like, all right, what do we do to confront him?
You mean being the one to come up with the plan of getting Endeavor to spill the beans on Midoriya?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do find it interesting how the students of Class 1A got to like Bakugo, Shoto, and Tokoyami to try and contact their mentors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's also like Bakugo, being the one that due to the fact he knows Midoriya the most. He realizes just how much of a bad state Midoriya is probably in right now. So anyway, continue more on what your thoughts on with this chapter, such as that, the confrontation between Endeavor and the students.
I don't have much to say on that, truth be told. I do think it's interesting that the more interesting bit was really between Todoroki and Endeavor, which, again, kind of expected, but I do like how Todoroki addressed, like, hey, I thought we were going to be in this together. Well, what the hell just happened? So I like that confrontation right there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you make of like the students' resolve to try and come and rescue Midoriya, and talk about how they've been, even though they've only known him for like a year, they still feel like that's enough?
A little typical, I'll be honest. It's a little typical, but I get it.
Yeah, I mean, because I think there has been some complaints that some of the students of 1A have not been properly developed in that stuff, given how large a cast they are, or that Midoriya hasn't spent too much time with, like, besides the main group of characters.
Inasa.
Let's see, but yeah, did you say Mikasa there?
No, Inasa.
Oh, Inasa. Okay.
Inasa and Koda are clear examples.
Oh yeah, but I do like how they do the reasoning. How even though 1 year they still want to help and all that stuff. But I guess it goes to show that even regardless of how much or how little time they may have spent with him during that year, they still value like Midoriya's a valued comrade, which in many ways is probably much better than what Team 7 handled. Team 7 was handled in Naruto.
Yeah, Team 7.
Or even Naruto with the K11.
I don't know. Even with My Hero, I feel like that there's only a few select that are, I don't know, you're like super close with Deku, but
it's still a lot more than I suppose Naruto was.
Yeah.
But anyway, because it was mostly like Shikamaru, really. But yeah. But anyway, But anyway, what do you make of like the principle? What do you make of the fact that the students of 1A have yet to become the students of 2A yet?
Intriguing. For lack of better words, I thought that was kind of intriguing. That they're still kind of being held back, if you will, from becoming 2A students. I was like, huh. Okay.
And from what the principal has said, that while he gave Midoriya permission to leave, he also says that, let's see, if the students of Class A can succeed in it, they're allowed to bring Midoriya and All Might back into this. So, let's see, which I'm a bit curious about, because I recall, Lakichi, you're one of the ones that has been hoping that Midoriya does not, go back to UA. It seems like now's an opportunity for him to come back.
Yeah, that's the foundation's there now, which I can't say I'm too pleased with, but as long as it's not saying, like, hey, let's drag Midoriya back to UA, and it's like, oh, we're here now. Yeah, I know. I'm conflicted about it.
But it's like, I have to admit, it's not like him kicking and screaming, though that seems to be the case with what Midoriya is doing, but at least with how Midoriya is acting. But I do like how they portray this in a positive way of like how all students are under their protection here. That stuff, and I do even like that little flashback we saw of Uraraka's like applications and like her being accepted.
Yeah.
So there's that. Let's see, and so there's that. So yeah, I do like it seems. So it seems like Class 1A has become the Midoriya Rescue Retrieval Team. So I just had to make this joke. But yeah, let's see. So yeah. Anyway, I do like how let's see. So let's see. Was Midoriya's response what you expected? By the way. So why Class 1A is here?
What about his response?
Like asking why they're here.
It's interesting, and yet I'll say this: Twitter's been amazing with all the memes going around, because I've seen many people look at the situation and go like, "So, are we making this the new Alliance versus Founding Titan situation?" I'm like, I wouldn't say that, but I can get the idea of where they're coming from.
I think it's more of a reverse. I think it's more of a Sasuke retrieval, but instead of Naruto, instead of the main character coming after the rival, it's the rival leading like the supporting cast to bring back the main character.
Yeah, there's that too.
I think that is more of the situation here, but I definitely like Bakugo's not taking any of Midoriya's, BS.
Yeah, I do like that. I thought that was pretty cool too.
It's like, I'm not having your nonsense. Let's see. You're clearly not in a good state of mind. You're coming back with us and stuff. But yeah, I do like how Midoriya is like. I do like how Koei has drawn Midoriya in this like ready to fight stance, and with like Bakugo, Ida, and Uraraka leading the thing as like. I like how calm Uraraka's been about this whole thing when talking to Midoriya, talking about how worried they are about him.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, I like how these three appear to be leading the charge against Midoriya, and it seems that we're getting like and we're finally getting the I think some people were speculating, but it's now finally here. Class 1A versus Midoriya.
What? You mean Todoroki's not gonna be in the final pinch?
Yeah, but it seems like I do like the fact that it seems to be Bakugo, Uraraka, and Ida leading the charge in this sense, where Bakugo's the rival and the one that's known Midoriya the most.
I was a little surprised that he didn't add Todoroki there too, given the history that Deku and Todoroki have. But
you mean especially recently? But yeah, but you know what? I think I like this much more since it's Bakugo's the main rival, and Uraraka and Ida are his two main friends, the two main friends Midoriya's made in the school. They make a sort of trio, as you will.
Yeah.
Though it seems like Bakugo has currently replaced that and all that stuff with and all that stuff. So yeah, so these three are the ones leading the charge to bring back Midoriya. So I'm hoping that these three are the ones that do the most in this fight against Midoriya and all that stuff. But yeah, So yeah, I'm liking that. But anyway, let's see. Let's see. Overall, I give this chapter a 9 out of 10. And what's your grading?
Well, I kind of just like that sound going on in the background, because someone's having fun on their motorcycle. But that's besides the point. When it comes to the chapter, with my overall rating, I give it an amazing, which was around like a 9 out of 10.
Okay. But yeah. So anyway, one thing I do like this chapter. It seems to like the first thing I thought in this chapter is like this kind of reminded me because this going back to Naruto a little bit because it still reminds me of a situation that people were probably predicting of Naruto. Though before I do that, I must admit the last 2 pages feel like they could have been a double panel spread, but I think
they are. I think they are double panel spreads because I know if you go on the Viz site that it's set up to be a double panel spread.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, but anyway.
I think once this comes out in the volume, it's gonna look a lot like that.
Okay, then I'm looking forward to it. Once I actually get to the volume, which will probably be a while in the UK here.
Which, fun fact, hold on. Okay. But when it comes to the volumes, just to go off track a little bit, I was on the wiki earlier, right?
Yeah.
And I was on volume 31, and I looked at the page count, and apparently the page count goes up to 216. So if my theory about volume 31 ending on 306 is true, then it's great.
Oh, lucky you then. You finally got the volume where you can lead off, to this end of the second arc, in which you can leave it to there if you're not happy with this final third saga. But yeah. Anyway, back on to what I was saying about what I was thinking about. This reminded me of a situation in Naruto's.
Yeah, go on.
You remember after Naruto rescued the tailed that separated the Jinchuriki from their tailed beasts?
What about it?
Fight against Toby, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you had all the members of the K11 and the Allied Shinobi forces, going together, all thinking about how they're going to help Naruto and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you have and in the meanwhile you have Sasuke also walking in Naruto's direction.
Mm-hmm.
Did you? This kind of reminds me of the theory people were having at the time and thinking is Sasuke going to run into the K11 and they're going to have it and he's going to fight the K11 and maybe the Allied Shinobi forces while Naruto's battling Toby for a bit?
Yeah.
This kind of reminded me of that, but actually happening.
I could see it. To me, like I said, going back to Attack on Titan, this reminded me of the last page of Volume 34, which is where the Alliance gets on top of the what's it called, the Founding Titan, and they're asking Eren "Hey, what about you, Sri?" That's what this kind of reminds me of. In some sense, it's not exactly the same scenario, but it's got some similarities.
I guess you could say it's a little mixed with Attack on Titan with Sasuke retrieval arc.
Mm-hmm.
Though unlike the Sasuke, like I said, one thing I do like about this, instead of it's the rivalry they're trying to save, it's the main character. It's which I suppose one thing that I gotta give Koei is that while he does use the standard shonen tropes in manga, he does reinvent them and all that stuff for new ways. He does.
Yeah.
As I remember how everyone thought that Bakugo was going to turn evil, but nope, that didn't happen.
Yeah, and again, technically, Deku's not technically evil in this scenario. He's just doing what he thinks is right.
Yeah, he's in such a mindset that that he's even willing to fight his friends, or at least assume that he's both willing to fight his friends to get them out of the way, just so he can continue his mission.
Yeah.
So yeah.
If you want my predictions on what I think is going to happen in the fight, I think Class 1A is going to be good, but I think, and I know Deku's exhausted at this point, but I still think he'll pull through. Because here's the reason why I'm saying that. Because I think it was 2 chapters ago, 317, we had that little panel of Stain listening in on All Might and Deku's little chat, right?
Yeah.
And I think, and I said this in my discussion video that I did earlier today, that I think Deku is going to take out Class 1A, feel regret about what happened, and I think Stain's going to confront him to, in a sense, kind of give him that reality check. Like, I know it'd be like, okay, Deku getting a reality check, I think is going to happen. That I'm already expecting.
But
And I think going the Class 1A route, I think is a little predictable. It's not bad. I just think it's a little predictable.
So
but him confronting Stain and Stain giving him that reality check, I think does a lot more.
So you believe it's instead of going to be the members of Class 1A doing it, it's particularly someone like Bakugo and Uraraka, because those would be the two main people that you would think would try and snap him out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's going to be one of his old foes, Stain, the one that, like Midoriya, also admired All Might and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It would be very interesting because I do know that prediction is very interesting because I do know that Midoriya, Stain did consider Midoriya to be worthy, or at least potential to be worthy, when he tried to rescue Eden and all that stuff from like their last encounter. I'm not sure. It's very interesting to see if Stain is still the same villain he was back when we had the hero killer, the Stain arc, and all that stuff. So yeah, but I have to admit, Lucky Chi, I have to admit, I am seeing like a. One thing I'm a bit interested about is that I have been seeing on social media a bit of mixed response of like people about what they want to happen with Midoriya and Class 1A. Some wanting Midoriya to win, and some wanting Class 1A to win. With like, with some of them saying that only Midoriya winning can make sense of this. Midoriya can beat everyone, while some are saying like, well, they probably prefer Midoriya to win and not go back to UA. They can probably see Midoriya losing due to the fact that he's exhausted right now. So yeah, let's take a look at the advantages Midoriya has so far. He's got one for all, and not to mention he's got 5 of the other quirks that one for all has. So yeah, he's got multiple quirks, and apparently, and his best, he's got the strength. He's as strong as All Might, which allows him to probably fight and all that stuff. But but at the same time, but there's disadvantages that he's exhausted and all that stuff, and not to mention he's very outnumbered, 19-1 at the moment. Are you still there, Lucky Chi, by the way? Hello? Lucky Chi? Hello? Are you back yet? Or anyway. Lucky Chi, you there? Hello? Anyway, where was I? So yeah. So Midoriya is probably exhausted as probably I am right now. So remember, let's see. I was talking about the advantages and disadvantages that Midoriya had, and people responding to them. With like some people like wanting Midoriya to win, while some other wanting Midoriya to lose, and those with some in between saying that those who prefer Midoriya to win could understand him losing due to his tired state. And Class 1A is tired. Outnumbers him. While I was commenting on the strengths Midoriya has, is that due to he's got 5 out of 6 quirks, and his one for all. He's apparently at his best. He's as strong as All Might was, so that might give him the advantage. Though I feel like at the beginning of this fight,
3 times the power that Todoroki has, which is saying a lot.
So yeah. One thing I'm expecting with Midoriya for this is that he you'd probably try to avoid fighting his classmates first. My guess, he'll probably try the smoke screen. But I think as time goes on, he'll probably start to try and use force. So he'll probably hold back because he doesn't really want to hurt his friends. Though he might be more aggressive as the fight goes on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So out of curiosity, how long are you expecting this fight to last?
I'd say I would have said 1 chapter, but I don't think it's gonna be 1 chapter. Maybe 2 or 3 at max. If I have to go a little further, maybe 4. Maybe.
Let's see. Well, it would probably make sense to be 4 since if let's see, Koshi wants to like show everyone fighting Midoriya. It'll probably take a few chapters to have everyone do it, but I definitely say like you're probably gonna have some people more center stage than others, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could last as long as the like those colored spread chapters and all that stuff. So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So yeah. So we'll find out whether or not Midoriya is actually going to come back to UA or not with this. But who knows? But like you said, it might be the encounter with Stain that finally snaps him out of it, though.
How would you feel if that were to be the case?
Well, it definitely showed that Stain has changed somewhat since he seems to be on the mindset that once people have a certain mindset, let's see, they cannot go back, which and that they're lost cause, like he was with Ida, with like his whole revenge against him thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if this happens, we probably will see let's see him possibly trying to snap out Midoriya, though it might just be that he's trying to take All Might hostage to determine whether or not Midoriya is actually worthy or not, but who knows? Yeah. But yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah. But overall, I'd probably say after this fight, at the very least, this arc will probably be over, and we'll probably move on to the next arc, which might either be a return to UA or who knows? For we know, Class 1A might actually decide that they want to join Deku in his journey and all that stuff, since, well, let's see, they all seem to be like, they really want to be with their friend and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if I were to take a guess with where we're at volume-wise, like I said, I think volume 31 ending with 306 is more likely now, given the page count that they have, but if we're to believe that, volume 32, I think, will go up to 316, which is essentially when the mansion blows up. So, if I'm getting this correctly, this should technically be volume 33.
And this is roughly around, I take it, the 3rd chapter in, right?
Let's see, 4th chapter. Yeah, 3rd chapter. That's 3rd chapter.
And usually there's 9 chapters, right?
Usually. Let me double check what the latest track record's been. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2. See, after volume 27, it started being around 9, I think. 27 was 9, 28 was 1. Yeah, it's been like a 9-chapter record with each of the volumes. Except for, I think 29 might have been 10. Let me see.
So in other words, we probably have another 6 chapters to go, which means that, who knows, it's very possible that the entire fight lasts in those 6 chapters, with the last one actually being the conclusion of it, ending in a cliffhanger.
I'd say this, 30, I just looked up 32, okay? So 30 went back to 10, the 10 chapter per volume thing, so.
Okay, so it might be 317 to 327 then.
Mm-hmm. Which I wouldn't be against. I'd be totally fine with that.
Fair enough. So yeah. But who knows? I probably could also.
Although, wouldn't you technically say volume, or wouldn't you say chapter 316 would technically be the end of the villain hunt arc, or what? Because.
Well, let's see. Well, I guess depending on, let's see if this is still counted as considered like the hunt for the villain arc at the moment, which is yet to be confirmed. But for we know, we might be entering the Class 1A reunion arc. But
it is okay. So yeah, this is still part of the Villain Hunt arc.
But yeah, whether or not that'll change in the future remains to be seen.
Yeah.
So, Lucky Chi, is that everything that we've covered, or is there anything else that you think we need to bring up?
I think that's it for the most part. I think.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
Unless you feel like there's something we're missing.
The only thing I'm wondering is perhaps let's see, what has happened to All Might. I'm assuming that we'll probably learn his fate by the end of the volume at least, but who knows? We might get
He got bodied by State. No, I'm joking. He didn't. That didn't happen.
For we know, he might eventually come back for training at least, and maybe helping go out and all that stuff. So that's probably all I have left to say.
For sure.
Overall, I think that's everything we've covered for the chapter. Lucky Chi, thank you for joining me, even though you left me to narrate and summarize for a third of it. But
I'm sorry about that. I didn't expect it to take as long as it did.
I hope you won't do that again for me for the future thing, because this stream is nearly as long as our Kong versus Godzilla one. But anyway,
don't worry.
But yeah, anyway, thank you for joining me, Lucky Chi. I hope you'll be able to join me for 320, and we'll be able to do it without any delays this time. But
320. Yeah, I should be able to join you for that.
But yeah. So anyway, we've seen Midoriya. For those who've managed to stick around this long, have seen us discuss Midoriya's current mindset and how his friends want to rescue him, but he's not doing it, and all that other stuff in between. But yeah, and and next week will be probably of course this week will be a fighting. We'll probably see a lot of action between Midoriya versus Class 1A.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm Blue Star Saber.
I'm Lucky Chi.
And we are signing off. Plus Ultra.
Plus Ultra.
And we're done. Goodbye, everyone.